Yo, my people, it's Sharif Pantha, and I'm back again with another episode of Everything's Health. Thank you so far for all your support. I'm here with my co-host again, Min, the female Morpheus, the lovely voice we all love to hear. And I'm here with another brilliant guest, one that is special to me because I've known him more or less all my life since a toddler. And he's had an incredible the last year and a half with his transformation in his lifestyle. And that is Tom. Thank you for coming, bro.
How you doing, mate? Thanks for having me.
So,
Good.
Basically, to give a bit of background and context to why you're here, with Everything Health, it's not just about personal training. It's not just about the specialists in the industry. It's about the people that benefit from the industry and from the lifestyle and from the services that we provide. And I think some people just have like really incredible stories. And knowing you, it hits home a little bit more just to see someone that is so close to you that you know actually make a complete 360 in regards to the lifestyle. And I kind of just want you to share your story because I know there's someone out there that can definitely, even if it's just one person, they reach out to you and they know that they can see a huge difference. And I'm going to get the picture of the transformation one you put up the other day so they can see the proof in the pudding in regards to, no pun intended, about about, you know, if you put your mind to something, if you change your habits, if you really want it, it's, you know, you can actually make a change in regards to how you feel and actually just not kill yourself slowly, whether it's through not exercising, whether it's through bad nutrition or just generally just like the wrong lifestyle and whole. So we can just start off in general, just sort of talk about what is the last 2 years been like for you?
Well, if you put me in the place I was in, well, if you look back to where I was now 2 years ago, well, today 2 years ago, I'm a totally different person.
Yeah.
Like, diet-wise, weight-wise, just my whole mindset with regards to nutrition, working out, stuff like that, is just completely different. If we look at it now, we're just at the beginning of 2021, so we would have been going into the beginning of 2019. It was after I've been recognised a few health implications, after Christmas, so I would have been at my biggest probably after Christmas. You know,
what was that on the scale?
187 kilos. So yeah, I think it's around 30 stone, which is big. Now I'm by no means small now, but from what I was compared to what I am now compared to what I was then, it's massive. It's a big difference. I'm down. I weighed this morning at 151, which is
what's that a loss of?
That's 36 kilos. But I actually put on 7 kilos over Christmas. Again, after Christmas, turkey and that. But so just like, but it's not just the weight. It's not just your relativity to the ground. It's like you see me now. Me and you become friends closer again, just simply because of my lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. And I'm in the gym a lot more. I'm working out a lot more. I was walking. I was saying about where I've been walking today, for example, stuff like that. I wouldn't even have got off the couch. The only place I'd walk to is the fridge 2 years ago. Yeah. So it's just a complete 360, as you said, like complete turnaround.
Yeah, and I think the moment where because obviously our mums know each other.
Yeah,
that's how we know each other. And we went to school together as well.
Yeah, man.
So we used to get the train.
We fought together and everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. That was embarrassing, boy. Oh my days.
We've known each other a long time, man.
And then obviously that period where we left school, like everyone does, and everyone goes on their little adventure.
Separate journeys, yeah.
That's it. And then it wasn't till you started reaching out to me. You was like, I'm doing this, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And then you came down to my gym and then you said, you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, so like, as I said, like towards the back end of 2018, I was in a pretty low place. I'm usually someone who wears my heart on my sleeve and I'm quite honest about everything. Like you can see that through my Instagram and stuff, but throughout that year, I started getting noticed falling asleep at work. I was getting dangerous. I was falling asleep driving, stuff like that. So it wasn't until people at work reached out to me, so they were very good to me, or I got diagnosed with sleep apnea. I've got a sleep apnea disorder.
Where's sleep apnea for someone who might be experienced, don't know the habit, or someone who doesn't know what that is?
Anyone who stayed in the hotel room with me knows that I snore. I'm like a foghorn. It's like people say I sound like a ship coming into dock. But what it was that what I realised is when I went for my sleep test, they put me for a sleep test when I went to the hospital. And what they found out is I was waking up 72 times an hour when I was asleep. So I wasn't getting any sleep at all. And then when I'd wake up in the day, I wouldn't even recognise that I was falling asleep all the time at work and stuff like that. And it weren't until it was getting kind of funny at work, but then people got concerned about me. So when that sort of triggered everything, and then when I started going for more tests and stuff, because I was like what you were saying earlier, I didn't go to the GP for years. And then when I did, there was a whole host of other problems come out. They'd done my blood sugars, found out I was diabetic. So then it was just like, I just had to stop. Like, end of August 2018.
You wasn't necessarily, you was diagnosed with being diabetic, but you actually could have been diabetic for a while.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue. Didn't have a clue. So they do this thing where they call it like pre-diabetic and stuff like that. I never went through any of that. I just went in and got told, yeah, you got you're type 2 diabetic. And I was like, okay, so after doing blood tests, this was in the end of August 2018. So then after that, it was like, you just get sullen, and it's like I'm like always been someone who goes out, I like a few drinks, I like to party, I like to eat out all the time, stuff like that with my friends. But inside it was eating me up. And it's like, so I'd say the starting point of my journey was 30th of October 2018, I gave up cigarettes. Now,
that's 2 months after.
2 months
you went
after,
to the GP.
yeah.
So I found type 2. Was you still going out at that point?
Yeah. I didn't know what to do. I didn't say anything to anyone, just held it all inside. I haven't really spoke about this to anyone about being like diabetic. I don't even advertise it on my Instagram or anything. And so the first problem I knew I had was the sleep apnea, and I spoke with someone. I spoke with someone who was seeing me about that, and what she told me, the doctor told me, was what you will notice is so I've got a CPAP machine fitted, and that helped with my sleep. So that helps me sleep. And you might see it, it's the thing that makes you look like Darth Vader when you're flying around in one of them Star Wars. Yeah. So I wear one of them when I sleep. I don't really wear it anymore, but
sleepovers must be fun.
They are. I'm silent, mate. Trust me, I'm dead silent now when I sleep. But so I started wearing that. But what she said is you will naturally, because what a lot of people say is sleep has got such a big impact on your weight loss.
Yeah. And
what she said is you will sleep a lot more, which means in turn you'll get a lot more active because you'll have the
cognitive skills.
Yeah. You'll be a lot more cognitive, but you'll be a lot more energetic. You'll have the energy to do things.
Yeah.
Like I used to get in from work and I'd be lying on the couch and I'd be passed out by 6:30, 7 o'clock.
I say to a lot of my clients and people in general that talk to me about ask for advice, there is a whole field on sleep and its benefits to people's life and how much it's underrated. And when I watch these documentaries or these inspiration videos, sleep when I'm dead and I'm like,
nah.
That is
the whole Margaret Thatcher thing, sleeping on like 2 hours a night. That's rubbish.
No, I even watched one with Kevin Hart. He's one on Netflix. He said he gets like 3-4 hours of sleep, and I get the mindset that you're attention you're trying to push, but in reality, sleep is one of the most important aspects to athletes and to the ones you see as high performers in the world. Definitely. They actually. I think there's TED Talks on it. There's so much research and it's underrated.
There's a really good book called Why We Sleep.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but it's on my it's on my Audible wish list.
There was actually a survey or worldwide survey that was done on what is the number one thing linked to happiness, and when they said. A lot of people thought it was money or love. It was actually sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just a operational thing. It is literally linked with your emotional well-being. So when these people, the influencers, are saying things such as sleep when you're dead and things like that, they're painting a very unrealistic and very unhappy, very gerbil rat race type of mentality.
Well, something interesting that I literally read today was every animal has a circadian rhythm. So every animal has a body clock, but we are the only species that restrict that. We're the only species on the planet that restrict our circadian rhythm. Like you'll see a dog will just fall asleep there where it wants, but we will restrict it and restrict it and restrict it as much as we can.
My family hate it.
But with regards to diet and sleep, I'm telling you now, you probably noticed this as well. You've got 2 young children. When they're young babies and they're awake and keeping you up all night, that is when you don't have the cognitive functions, and you tend to binge eat, or you tend to eat more rubbish when you haven't had sleep. Like, I remember when I used to do like late night shifts, first place I'd be is in Greg's in the morning or somewhere like that. It's just not there to do that. You don't have that willpower, or you don't have that mindset to stop yourself, because you haven't got the rest that you need to function properly.
Yeah.
So from that, it's that. So when that started getting better, and one of the things that was annoying me is I didn't like breathing into the machine when I'd stink of smoke. Now, you've known I've smoked since I was about 13, 14 years old, and I was smoking 20 cigarettes a day. And I'd tried before, but then I just said, you know what? I just knocked it on the head completely and started on a vape. And I started vaping then, and it was around that time when I went to David Lloyd. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was going into the gym, doing little bits and bobs or whatever, but I hadn't started hard functioning and working out and stuff like that yet. Then again, Christmas round the corner after October, went on the booze, stuff like that. And then January, February, March, pretty laxed. Then it got to May, and I went to America for my cousin's 30th birthday. And I'm very close to my cousin out there. And I was flown out there as a surprise, great little holiday. But I was out there and I left my vape pen over there, because what I realised is the lower the nicotine in vape, the better it tastes. So I got down to 0 nicotine at this point. And then I left it over there. I forgot it, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to give it up, give it a go. Haven't smoked cigarettes since. But the other thing that I noticed when I was over there is there was photos of me. Again, I was on the beach with my cousins, and I was like the whip for 2 of them. Mm. So it's then when I come back from that, and it got to about July, again, procrastination was a massive thing with me. It's always, I'll do it next week, I'll start Monday, I'll do this, I'll start Monday, I'll start Tuesday, I'll start Wednesday. I'm not feeling great, I'll put it off, just put it off. Then I looked up dates earlier before I came here. 19th of July 2019 was when I started working out hard, got myself a personal trainer.
Yeah.
I think you were up in David Lloyd with me a few weeks after that.
Yeah.
And it's just then, and it was then when I text my friends and I'm like, look, like me and my mates, we're boys will be boys. Like, we all take the piss out of each other all the time. We're always ripping into each other. But I had to text them all, and I was like, look, I'm putting myself out here. I'm starting an Instagram page. I'd rather your support. I actually fell out with one of my friends because he wrote something smart on my Instagram the other week. And I was like, look, if you don't want to support me, don't follow me.
Hold on, so I want to touch on that. So basically, you're making this decision to do something.
Yeah.
Prior to that, what's everyone telling you about your weight?
You choose not to hear it. You choose not to hear it.
So people were saying stuff, but you were...
People would say stuff to me, but they're also the same people that are ringing me up to go out with them at the weekend and go for like 10 to 15 pints of them on a Friday night. Yeah. They're still the same people that I'd be out with the whole time. And it'd be in the pub, like, after when you're like 10 pints deep, when they'd be like, oh yeah, you need to sort of do something in your weight. But me being me, I didn't want to listen to it. It's like, yeah I know it's a problem.
Isn't it interesting that some of the people that love you the most are the worst people for you?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, you are the people that you hang around with, aren't you? It's, was it you were saying earlier about if you surround yourself with, something else I was listening to earlier, if you surround yourself
with 5 millionaires,
it was
you'll be the sixth.
Yeah. But it you don't want to hear it. It's like, the one thing with being obese is telling someone they're obese is nothing. Nobody knows more than like me that I had to lose weight. No, I'm the one who has to wake up in the morning. I'm the one who has to look at myself naked. I'm the one who has to look in the mirror. Right? Nobody knows more than me that I had to do something about it. And it just seems like when people tell you to do it, it's like they're looking down on you. That's the way I've seen it, and it's like you don't want to be. The truth hurts. That's what it is. Yeah. The truth hurts. That's the simplest way of putting it.
Is it less likely that you will do something that is to your benefit just because everyone is constantly all saying it negatively?
Yeah. Yes and no. You see, I'm also a big believer that you shouldn't beat around the bush. Like, you should, like, there's no point. There was that article in Cosmopolitan recently about the bigger women. There was bigger women.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Why are they beating around the bush, right? Obesity is a problem. If you're fat, you're fat. At the end of the day, you are fat. There's no point in dressing it up. There's no point in dressing it up pretty. If the facts are there. If you're obese, you're more likely to get health problems. Diabetes being one. It used to be called
strokes.
Type 2 diabetes used to be called adult onset diabetes because you're not born with it. It's something that you develop. So it's not like I wasn't born a type 2 diabetic. I brought this on myself. Now, how I brought this on and what's behind that, yes, obviously it's gorging on food, it's gluttony, it's stuff like that. But it's what I'm starting to learn now is it's not as simple as, this is why I refer back to obesity. I don't believe that obesity is going to be tackled in this country until it's treated in a similar sort of manner to anorexia. Because I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but the way I see it is you would never go up to an anorexic person and say, you need to eat more or you need to move less. You would never say that to someone. But however, it's all right to say to an obese person, they get dog's abuse for being overweight. Now, there might be reasons behind it. There might be trauma behind it. There might be anything where they turn to food for comfort, or they got an addiction to food, or they got an addiction to alcohol or something like that. And I think it should be looked into a bit more. Like with anorexia, you're looked into it's all mindset that you're looked into. And
are anorexic people given more support from the NHS?
Yes, it's like what I said to you. Like I didn't say this on the mic, but I spoke with my GP. My GP rang me and he wanted to have a chat with me about a recent health change. And within that change, what he said to me was he was asking me what I was doing. And I said, well, what I'm doing now is I've corrected my diet and I'm moving more. That's all I'm doing, simply. And he's like, you're not cutting out carbs? I'm like, nope. I said, I'm just eating a piece of toast while I talk to you, is what I said to him. But what I said to him is, I said, look, I'm at the stage now where I'm still, even though I'm able to follow a strict diet, I still binge eat like mad. And when I binge, I do not stop. I'm like a bottomless pit. Like, seriously. I'll go out and I even track my bad days. And there's bad days where I'll eat 9,000 calories. No problem. And when I do that, we were talking about this.
Pausing that 8,000 to 9,000 calories. There's people on YouTube trying to do that as a challenge. There's the Larry Wills 10,000 calorie challenge.
I can do
That's
that.
insane,
no problem at all.
Is that in one? Is that throughout the day?
No. It's not. What do you think I'm doing? Like just eating sticks of butter or something? No. It'd be like throughout the day, and it's mad. It's like. I read in a book somewhere it was a video that I watched on someone where someone was trying to put on weight, so they're in a totally different situation to me. And I think it was Brian Shaw, the strongman, and he turned around and goes, if you're not eating until you're physically throwing up, you're not. I think I said this to you before, innit? You were saying you don't need to put on weight. And you go, I can't eat anymore. And I go, are you throwing up yet? Yeah. Like, no, you're not eating enough. Then.
Yeah.
But over the day, if you're eating... Like, you might not be, say, if you're eating the right things, even though they're the wrong things, if you're eating the right things, you can easily eat that amount of calories.
Yeah. I mean, 8,000 calories of vegetables is still 8,000 calories of
anything
else, you know what I'm saying?
That's another big thing that I say as well. It's like, we'll probably come on to this, but like, what's right foods and what's wrong foods and stuff like that. It's like, my mindset's changed completely on that. It's like, you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat. And
do you know the emotional aspect of why you were binge eating?
No, it's literally, I sit there watching telly and it's just like shoveling food into my mouth.
Do you believe there's an emotional tie to
There is. I believe there's definitely psychological links to binge eating. 100%. That's why I've asked to go and see someone about it. And but again, we spoke earlier again about Google... was it Google diagnosis, wasn't it?
Yeah, Google and YouTube.
And what I've noticed, and it's from speaking with other people, because I get a lot of people reaching out to me through Instagram and stuff like that, and speaking with like-minded people, there's a thing called binge eating disorder, right? Which is called BDO. It's a known illness. And all I've done was ask the GP about that. That's all I've done. But he rubbished it straight away and said, what you're doing is yo-yo dieting. And I was like, okay, but can I speak? What is
yo-yo dieting? What is that? Do you even know?
What the way he explained it to me was, because I put myself in a calorie deficit, the fat cells get depleted. So if you imagine you've got a tank full, a fat cell full of fat, and you burn them calories off however you do. So your fat cell is now depleted. Now that fat cell hasn't disappeared. but there's a craving to refill it back up. So that's
they
why
call that the refill in
refeeding, refeeding and stuff like that. But that's the way he described it to me, and I was like, yeah, but why am I doing it to excess then? If I only want to refill the thing up, why am I eating more then?
Yeah.
So that's why I asked to get professional help and see someone who's actually a specialist in the topic. Where they said then he said to me, we won't get anyone to see you on the NHS, and I said, well, that's because I'm not anorexic. Is when I said to him. And he said to me, he goes, yeah, you're right. And I said, well, that's fine. I've got private healthcare. I said, can you just write me a referral letter? Then in the referral letter that he's referring me to see a specialist on this topic, he's again rubbished what I'm saying. Basically saying, well, he said this. I've already told him it's this, but he wants to see you anyway. Ooh. This is what I could have brought the letter with me. It legit says that in the letter.
How does that make you feel?
But it's like I'm being a bit of an advocate for other people, because there'd be people that aren't as confident as me and won't speak out about this sort of thing, or won't have the confidence to ask to see these people. And I'm doing this and I'm getting shot down. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, how many other people out there have asked for this sort of help and they haven't been able to? Yet if you're at the other end of the spectrum, where you're not eating enough and you can't put on enough weight, or you've got your own problems with weight on the other side of the problem, you're seen in more of an emergency situation. It's a more severe situation.
And how at that point that you've done all the things with confidence within your ability, you've exercised your private healthcare, so you've more or less advocated and turned up for yourself, and you're taking action.
Oh yeah.
So then at that point, how did that make you feel in terms of, did it impact you maybe emotionally eating more or feeling let down, or did it make you more fired up to do more?
This only happened a couple of weeks ago.
Ah.
Right, so I think it was this side of this year, so it was only like last week. But it's triggered me, but I haven't been eating because of that. But another thing that nobody knows about me is I actually went to a bariatric clinic before I started my weight loss thing, and that was it was the week before I started it. I went to a bariatric clinic because I've got a friend who's had a gastric band and he's lost a hell of a lot of weight from doing that. And so I went to inquire about it, and the people at the bariatric clinic told me I wouldn't be allowed one.
Why?
Because my eating habits were so severe that if I had one, they'd be scared that I'd go back to old habits and I'd burst it. So that's another trigger point where, well, hold on, we need to look into this a bit further. Because it's all well and good, like, it's all well and good telling people, right, this is what you've got to do to lose weight. But if you've never been in that situation yourself, how can you advise people to do it? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's a very...
It's a lot more complex and intricate, again, which is why I was bringing it back to your emotion, because everything is triggered by the way you feel about something, whether you're conscious of it or not conscious of it.
The other thing is, if you think back to when you were a kid, I'd imagine you'd have the same thing. It's like, if you were good, you were rewarded with sweets. So you see food as like, some people see food as a reward. So, but when you get to a certain age where you can afford to buy these rewards yourself, you're going to just keep buying them, aren't you? It's like, you don't need to do that. I don't need to do nothing good anymore, do I? I'm just going to get this stuff anyway. It's like little things like that in your mindset. So the one thing that I've learned, the biggest thing that I've learned on my journey so far is that diets, the only diet that's good is the diet that you can stick to. That's the best diet for you is the diet.
That's what I do with my clients. I'm literally saying, give me a meal plan, give me something to do. I'm not going to do that. Send me a picture of everything you eat every day. Yeah. And let's work with that. Let's see if we can change a habit, if we can exchange something and just add something. How can we add something in? Can we just add in some more water? Or can we just change that portion a little bit? Or can actually eat more of that? Let's just change the habits or your attachment to the portion size or something like that.
But it's very, very much education. It's so like what I now know that when I go off track or when I do so Christmas, for example, I put on a bit of weight over Christmas, right? I'm not going to sit there and dwell on that now because I've got the knowledge where I know where I've gone wrong and I know what to do to rectify it. I know I'm going to have my blips where I'm going to binge eat and stuff like that again, but I know that I know what I'm done, and I'm not relying on a shake. I'm not relying on some woman in a room telling me what to do because her and her little club do it together. I'm not mentioning any names, but I'm not relying on these people because I've educated myself. One of the big things that helped me was that book that you told me to buy, that textbook.
That transformation one, yeah.
Oh, mate, that breaks down everything. It simplifies absolutely. You see my book. I've got little tabs in it, everything. I know where to look.
On the same respect, someone will look at that and just think this is too long.
Yeah.
So because
they look for a quick fix.
Language, yeah.
They look for a quick fix. But it's like, again, we're in a world at the minute now where everything's at the click of a button, right? So Amazon Prime, stuff like that. Everything's coming to you immediately. So everyone wants that quick fix. And I get frustrated when my Deliveroo's 10 minutes late. I don't know if you see my thing on Instagram or New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I was waiting 7 hours for a curry. But it's like... but everyone wants everything to happen now. Or everything, a better way to put it is everyone wants everything to happen yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the way they want to put it. And it's not like that. It's a slow process. It's like, you look at me now, and it's like, I'm still obese, but I'm not as obese as what I was. And my life it's a slow burning project. It's a slow burning,
But I'm glad you know that though. A lot of people, it's discouraging to them when it's not going to, like you said, it didn't happen yesterday. Yeah. And sitting down with people and getting them to understand, okay, I know this is your goal. I know you just saw an 8-week transformation on Instagram posted up.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to
What are they doing after that? What are they doing after that 8-week transformation?
And I'm dying to get certain PTs here because when someone like you or Min or anyone sees, I need to get in shape. And they just happen to scroll across this PT's Instagram and there's this 8-week transformation. And this person is gone from a bit of body fat to all of a sudden shredded. What I'm finding out more and more as I look into this, that's a whole fugazi, that's a whole lie because you've put your client on steroids and horse tranquilizer and all these other things that people aren't prepared, but you would buy his product, get sold an unrealistic plan or dream, and then all of a sudden you're like, why isn't this working? And then you go back to your old habits. Or in the same respect, people just need to understand when it comes to changing your physique, it's a long haul. We're talking 10, 15 years from now. Not 8-week transformation, not 12-week transformations, and that's a bad psychology. Yes. And what's happening.
See, I signed up with an Instagram PT last year. I think it was beginning of February, last March, and I lost 21 kilos of him in 6 weeks. Now this fella, this fella, right? He's the nuts. I will speak so highly of him to anyone that he's like.
What's his name?
It's Francis Diet. If you follow him on Instagram, I was with him then. He's so brutal. It's crazy.
You signed up with Francis
Diet on Instagram.
And you lost how much in 6 weeks?
21 kilos in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
he's absolutely brutal, and people can't take it because he tells you the truth. He tells you you're fat, you need to lose weight. End of. Yeah. Right? He tells you it. And his first text to me was, "We're gonna lower your diabetes markers and stuff like that." So I went with him. But one thing about him is I'm not his client. I haven't been his client since March, right? But the free content that he puts out there and the fact he still checks in with me to this day to see how I'm doing, how's my weight loss doing, stuff like that. He still checks in with me. It's the quality in the service that you offer. And that is fantastic. So you see where one PT would go, they might go, right, let's do a transformation, 8-week transformation. They'll do your meal plan. They'll put up your photo. That's it. You look amazing. That's it. Done. That's the end of their story with you. You're not paying them anymore. I think it's more the after effects as well that you get now from these services that need to be offered. Yeah. So it's like when you do get these PTs on, ask them, what do you do after you're finished with this client? Yeah. What do you do when this client don't come to you no more? Yeah. I think that's one of the questions. There's a guy now I'm with now. I've got to mention him if I'm mentioning Francis Diet because Jarrah's really good to me as well. Jarrah Martin Fitness. He's always in my stories. He's a totally different approach to what Scott was, Francis Diet. But it's a more calm, relaxed approach, and I feel comfortable with it. I can just keep moving with it. And again, it's that education where I know that if I mess up, I know I just give him a shout. I'm not relying on him to tell me what I'm doing wrong. He just knows that I'm doing wrong, and he's like, well, try doing it this way. And he's wanted to come up to me with a vision board idea for the year. So I'm doing a vision board now. So that's my new thing. I'm one of them sort of people doing it.
Well, I want to touch on, you mentioned something quickly that when, as kids, we're kind of groomed into believing when you do something good, you get rewarded with sweets, which is true.
Now, and one of the best things that I learned as well now is if you do well and lose loads of weight, this is a quote that I'll take from Scott, that Francis diet guy, right? If you do well and lose loads of weight, why are you going to reward yourself with something that made your body in that situation in the first place? Like,
yeah, but I wanted to bring it back to that early stages because I'm very big on going back to the source of things.
Yeah.
And it starts with our parents. I'm never going to blame our parents for anything because end of the day, we wouldn't be here without them. But it's those, they say, there's a study saying you are going to be the person you are an adult in the first 7 years of your life.
Yeah.
Those are the most important times in your life. So I remember growing up and you remember how skinny I was.
Yeah.
I'm still Slim Jim today, but I was a stick. And I remember my parents would always cook, but there was a period during school. My parents weren't rich by any means.
Yeah.
They would give me £2 every day for food.
Yeah. That'd be cans of Iron Brew.
Yeah.
Rolls of Frosties.
Not even that. Do you know what I was doing? Which they didn't even know. I was taking that £2 and I was playing Money Up every day. And I would take that money, bring it home. Yeah.
I remember that game.
If people don't know who Money Up is, Money Up is when you take a pound coin, you flip against the wall, and you gamble with your friends. You maybe win, you maybe lose. So I didn't.
He's going home broke every day.
And my ups and downs, baby. But there was more losses than wins, I'll be honest.
Whereas
I was broken hungry for like 5 years.
I used to be a West Kebab and chicken spot every day after school.
Yeah, remember across the road from Northfield Station? There was that chip shop. But,
chicken spot.
Yeah, so I would go home every day with either pound coins of money and hungry, or no pound coins, but I was always hungry. And I survived on 1 meal a day for probably 3 out of the 5 years I was in school.
Even when we were in school, like, so much has changed since we were in school, like, with regards to school dinners and stuff like that. Because you remember we used to go to school dinners and it used to be just like, what, chicken burger and chips for lunch every day.
This was my school dinner. You walk in the line and you nice up the lady, give her 1-2 winks. You're right, yeah, how's your day been? Yeah, how's your day been? Oh, you're cheeky, I'll give you some more beans. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you get, the extra beans on top of the pizza and chips, put some salt and pepper on that, and some ketchup on the side. That was it every day. And that's what we was getting fed for school dinner. And that pizza was like mad cardboard with this ketchup on top.
Yeah.
But the reason why I was saying that conditioned me to be really underweight for a large portion of my life from early teenage years to early adulthood, and also conditioned me to certain eating habits. I could survive. I didn't have an appetite. I didn't have breakfast. I would eat lunch probably around 3 to 4 in PM in a day. And then if I was really hungry, I'd make a mad munchy snack at 12 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. But that stretched on for years, all because by no fault of my parents, they would give me money for food.
Yeah.
But I was conditioned my eating habits from that early on. Where's the reason why I said, is there something, what was your upbringing like and your introduction to food with your parents?
See, I was, again, total opposite. I was brought up in a family where we used to have roast dinners like 4 times a week. It used to be like a roast dinner like every night. Like I don't know if it's like the whole Irish like family upbringing, but we used to have masses of food. And do you know what the other thing is? Right, there's a great meme going around on Instagram about it. You must have seen it. It's like we've both brought up in strict households, man. It's like if you don't finish your plate, you're not having any dessert. Or if you don't eat your dinner, and it's like...
Listen, I wasn't allowed to drink unless I finished my food. Because don't fill up on that drink. Finish your food.
Now look at me. I finish everyone's food. But it's one of the things, like, I was very lucky. Like, the upbringing I had, I was never wanting for food or anything. It's like, we used to have breakfast before we went out every morning. Like toast or cereal, then I'd go to school, have lunch, whatever.
But was it almost a case, you're not leaving until you finish your plate?
Not getting off the table until you finish your plate,
okay.
Until you finish your plate.
Do you think that was...
Or you're not getting dessert until you finish your plate. Wait, we used to have dessert with our dinners every night and everything.
And breakfast.
And it'd be breakfast for my dinner, yeah. But then there was also the, like... It was weird. It was, and then it was also like sitting with my dad. My dad was a big man, so I used to like sitting with my dad and eating the exact same as what he was eating and stuff like that. And he'd be like, you'd be proud that you finished your plate like the same amount of food as him. My brother was the same, like, and it's, I suppose them habits you carry through life with you, don't you? And it's like, you say people eat with their eyes. No, what I see with my eyes, I eat. That's not my problem. It's like if I was having a laugh with my mate the other day about it, and it's like, we were saying, let's show each other our Uber Eats orders over Christmas and stuff like that. Mate, my Uber Eats will put people to shame.
How much did you think you spent during Christmas?
Hundreds, man. But I don't even know. No, in fact, I weren't that bad. That's a lie, actually. I weren't that bad. I was actually cooking. It weren't Uber Eats. It was more crisps and stuff like that. And it's like, I've just had a new kitchen put in my house, so I was making stuff like sausage rolls and like breads and stuff like that, baking myself, like. But yeah, you got your like. I'll demolish a whole tub of Quality Street one night watching TV, and it's like, so it's just whatever's in front of me, I'll eat it. Do you know what I mean? If I see it, I'll eat it.
What is the health of your brother?
My brother's a healthy guy. He's not nowhere near as big as me.
So if you both had similar upbringings and both had similar approaches to food, where do you think the difference?
Well, I think that he could have seen, like me and my, brothers fight and stuff. The amount of times I got called like overweight slurs and stuff by my brother is ridiculous. But I think he's had that to look at, right?
He's younger than you.
Yeah, Matthew. If he's looked at me, I think he's looked at me and seen, well, I don't want to be like that. And he's had that, and he's seen what's happened to me, and he's seen me struggling with it as well. It's like there's certain things that like you struggle with when you're overweight. It's like one of the things, like I'm mad on Snapchat, I'm mad on social media. Everyone knows that. And one of the things, like whenever I was making videos, you'd hear me breathing. I'd be like in the background and stuff like that. And it's like things like that. You can see it's all tiny laces. Like I used to get out of breath tying my shoelaces, and he sees that. He was living with me. He's like, I don't want to be like that. And I think the best, if you're someone who doesn't want to be obese, look at obese people and see how they struggle with certain things, like finding clothes that fit and stuff like that. It's horrible, man.
But what age did you suddenly say, "Wow, I'm obese"? Did somebody tell you, or how young were you?
I think it was. Well, I've been big all my life. I've been big. I've always been able to carry it well. So I used to play a lot of rugby when I was younger. I've always been able to carry it, and it's like you've actually pulled me up on it already. It's like I've always laughed it off. Always, you both pulled me up on it earlier. I've always laughed it off, and I've never. It's sort of it's one of these evils that you just put to the back of your mind. You try not to admit to it, do you? Again, the truth hurts. You just never want to admit to you've got a problem. It's the same with an addict or someone. They never want to admit that they've got a problem with something. So
we all got problems, and like you said, Mims even pulled me up on it. I use humour a lot to deflect.
Yeah, big time.
My things I don't want to.
Big coping mechanism.
Where I say I'm very emotionally independent, Min will say that I use humour to deflect people to get into me emotionally, or some sort of form to that. And I think everyone uses something to deflect their biggest demon. Some things come out physically, your demon, and some things don't. Something like it just came out. Men are the highest statistic of suicide. Yeah. Not every man is overweight. Not every man is anorexic. Some just look like the average Joe Schmo, but they have a demon that's so extreme that their life has to go.
But it's always been man up, isn't it? That's always been the phrase, isn't it? Man up. So when you're a man, you're not told to show your feelings. And I think this is why I grate a lot of people, and I know I grate a lot of people with how I act. But I'm brutally honest. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I don't care how that affects other people. I think that's another reason why I've never really accepted it. Is I don't really care what other people think of me, and it's like I've gone through it. It's like.
What did you think of you?
That's a good question. If I'm brutally honest, I've hated myself deep down. I'm happier, but I'm not as happy as I want to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've dealt with it. I've dealt with like not being in relationships because of my weight, and I know I'm getting turned down by girls because it's my weight. I know that's one of the reasons why it is, but I just never admit it, and it's like I'll never accept it.
So where are your emotions where are your emotions going? Where are they being harboured? Sharif keeps his emotions buried under a house and builds lots of things on top of it. I can show you it one day, mate. And I'm just wondering, where do your emotions go? And then what do they become? And is there then that link of extreme binge eating? Because what I've observed is you have a great mindset towards instant gratification, and you recognize hard work, and you can pace yourself and learn and not do these shortcuts with weight groups, and you're not out for sympathy or empathy or even support, and you haven't had it from many people, it sounds, even the professionals. So then at what point is it that you lose that control and then the binging just comes?
You see, a good way to put this is related to me with work. Now, in work, I'm one of these people that believes if I want it done right, I've got to do it myself. So I don't like explaining to other people what needs to be done. I'm really bad at that sort of thing. But if I relate it to that sort of situation, I think it comes on top of me. I feel like it's come on top of me to do all this. I've got to do the research to find out how to do this. I've got to do this. And I think I just break down. And that's why I do it. I think that's why I binge eat then. It's because I'm like, do you know what? Oh yeah, I'm doing it. I'm not getting what I need. I'm not doing this, or I'm not happy with it, or stuff like that. So then I just turn to food.
Do you feel overwhelmed with certain stresses that other people might be supported with? And then as you are carrying not only the burdens or normal problems of a person, you've then got so many other additional things, and you almost feel quite alone, misunderstood, an island, and then you will break down maybe after being strong for a period of time? Like, are you measuring how many times you're breaking down and binge eating?
I'm not, but I quite like how you put that, because that's quite a good way of looking at it. I've never actually sat down, and if I went for a month, I actually do track it, so I can see the days when I've done it, and it's like, I don't know, it could be worth writing down like what triggered me to do it that day or something. But when it comes to lonely, everyone gets like, well, I get lonely because of it. Yeah, of course I do. But it is, when you put it like that, it's like I've never thought of tracking how many times I break down and do that in a month, and then thinking why I keep doing it. I've never thought of doing it like that.
I think that's a good place to start, because we just had a physio, who addressed a lot of the clients he sees. 60 to 70% of them, it's his experience is psychological issues, not across the board in all physiotherapy, but again through personal training. A lot of the issues, but when I talk to them, your issue isn't that you want to lose weight. The issue is that something triggered it in the beginning. What behavior is driving that? So
it's the agenda behind the intention, and it's usually emotional. But what Sharif was saying earlier is exactly how I approach things. I like to get to the source of things. If you can get to the source of something, you're doing such amazing work with your fitness. You even changed personal trainers to match the phases. So if you needed someone to be military with you, you went there and you said, that's what I needed. Then when your phase changed, so you didn't live there, when your phase changed where you needed a calmer approach, maybe someone to break it down a bit more, you evolved, but you had that awareness. So your awareness is very high. And when you're dealing with your binge eating, you're saying, I can even show you what I'm binge eating on. But what happens before that? That's the diary I would be interested to look at.
I think a lot of people in your position
I think my food psychologist is sorted. Right?
But I think that's the point. That's a big thing about...
That's a very, very good way of putting it. And I've never had any professional say that to me, or anyone that I've trained with, rather than keeping a diary of...
That's surprising. Not taking anything from the professionals you've dealt with, but I think that's where we like to take things, just peel that additional layer, because that's where results are. It's
usually right. You've messed up, right? Okay. Another phrase is it's day one until it's done, right? So no, I do live by that now. It's day one until it's done. But then it's just, again, everyone, when you think about it, everyone does it. I guarantee you do it as well. Right, let's paint over that. You've had a bad day. Let's start again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Rather than looking at, well, why did you have this bad day?
I don't know if all personal trainers maybe do that. I think it's the gift of being obsessed with the research and going to the source. And I know that the conversations that have happened prior in a different podcast have also indicated there are far and few people like that, but when they are, everyone they interact, they can really help, even just by saying a few words. And Sharif is the same with his personal training. He probably wouldn't just maybe bypass it, or maybe if you did, you wouldn't do that, because you then learn something, and you're very open to learning.
I wouldn't say bypass it. I would say that they don't go into that level of depth of what you just said. Like,
I don't think they need to, because it would be a boundary, because they would know it's not their arena.
What was the word? Someone put it to me before. Is a mistake is a mistake if it only happens once. Once a mistake happens more than once, it becomes a habit. Mm-hmm. So if you get into the habit of constantly making blips, then you're going to be reverting backwards, aren't you, rather than moving forwards. So,
like a behaviour.
Yeah, because what a lot of there's a lot of nutritionists and like personal trainers out there where if you notice they might turn it over and go, all right, you've had a blip or you've done that, or then if you keep doing it, they, rather than looking into it, they'll just see it as you're not following their program and get rid of you. And like there is a lot of people out there like that, because for a personal trainer, at the end of the day, like you would agree with me on this as well, is that what your business is based on is your results. That's what gets you your clients. And if this person keeps blipping, they're not giving you business. So
I'm surprised to hear that personal trainers will kick someone off their program.
Really?
And that is infuriating. There is not a single client that I've had clients say, I just can't do this no more.
Yeah. Because I don't mean like kick them off, but I mean like they'll let them go and they won't take them back or something like that. It's just
right. Okay.
It'd be like, you've got like, and it's acceptable because you've got certain standards that you're trying to. At the end of the day, you're trying to run a business as well. Yeah. And now like some personal trainers like to involve themselves with the person. They like to get to know the person and are really empathetic with the people. But some people, that's it. It's business. That's what it is. It's my business to make you lose weight. It's my business to get you the results. That's what you are paying me for, right? I am writing down, right, you want to come to me to lose weight? Here is your plan. Here is your exercise. You've paid me. You don't follow it. That's up to you, right? But if you follow it, you are going to get these results. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I mean? I think that's a standpoint that a lot of personal trainers have. But
isn't a personal trainer as part of being a health professional? And I can say this, Tom, because I am a personal trainer as well. And so is Sharif. And I think there needs to be a certain accountability and responsibility that even if someone like Sharif or any other personal trainer can't help you, but they recognize, wow, this person is really good, they can refer you. But because it's becoming such a, like you said earlier, Sharif, popping up like Skittles.
Yeah.
It then brings the concept of a personal trainer right down. And is it really just about aesthetics?
I think personal trainers, two things. A pro is that when there's more of them, there's more awareness of the product, of the service. The disadvantage is the level of quality. I've seen too many personal trainers come in again.
There's so many people on the rat race. With personal trainers, there's so many people on the rat race. You see it with their Instagrams. You see it with
bored of it, mate.
They want to have as many clients as possible, and a good way. Someone put it to me again. A personal trainer put it to me. A good personal trainer who I've worked with, again, says a good personal trainer wouldn't be looking for clients. Going, I've got say they wouldn't be advertising. Going, I'm looking for clients. Yeah. A good personal trainer would be full. They wouldn't be. They'd have people asking them to train with them.
Yeah,
that's the sign of a good.
Yeah,
like even when I go to you. You're like, mate, in the last lockdown, you're like, mate, I could squeeze you in at like 6 o'clock in the morning, but that's about it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's that's how you, if I was giving anyone advice out there, that is what I would say. If you've got a personal trainer coming to you, in fact, that's a bit unfair to say in the current climate, because a lot of personal trainers have had to take their business online now. Yes. So that's a bit unfair to say.
I think what you're saying is, in regards to your experience, or what we're trying to say here, there are a lot of personal trainers, but it's very far and few that will go to that extra level.
Yeah, it's that. It's like what I said about Scott earlier. Like even like now, he and I see it because I call him out. He doesn't even follow me on Instagram, but I know when he's been checking up on me because he'll come in and like stuff on it, and I'm like, I can see you been checking up on me again. Yeah. But it's like, and I like that, and it's like you feel supported. Then you know he's sort of got your back. You know what I mean? And it's like that. I think that's what they need. They need to be on a. They need to be on a. You need to be on a personal level with the clients.
Yeah. What do you think a personal trainer should be offering, other than just telling you how many reps and giving you a diet plan? What are the traits that you think a personal trainer for a person like yourself?
The guy I'm with now, if I text him anything, he'll get back to me and he'll say, if I've got a problem, he'll find a way to solve that problem and he'll come back to me and text me about it. Or he'll get back to me. And he's on the other side of the planet. He's in Australia. And he does everything online with me, and it's very, very good. And the only, if I was to say one bad thing about him, he's too soft to me. It's like, but then it's also what I like about him, because I'm not made to feel like the end of the world if I do mess up. But then it's like I'm not chastised for it, which is something that I'm usually. That's what I'm used to. If you know what I mean, I'm so used to be.
Reward and punishment.
Yeah, it's so that's what I like about being with Jarrah. It's like that. It's like going back to what I was saying about the diet. The best diet for you is the diet you can follow, and about there's so much misconception about good foods and bad foods. When at the end of the day, all you have is calorie dense foods and not calorie dense foods. There's nothing as a bad food.
Yeah.
If there was a bad food, they wouldn't legally be allowed to sell it.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like. That you don't, you can't dress it up. There's too much good and bad misconceptions within the whole health industry. This is good for you, this is bad for you. You're doing good, you're doing bad. It's not, okay, that's fine. Right, now you've done this, how do we recover from this? It's dealing with the situation at hand, isn't it? I don't know if I'm getting that right. I think I'm getting
You're talking about reward and punishment,
yeah.
The impact it's having on a person who the other person couldn't possibly know how you feel, and there's no taking into account the emotional impact it can have. If you're saying you're quite a strong person in that sense, imagine the people who aren't, and
exactly.
The impact it's having on their mental health.
See, I could take being whipped for not doing something wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? But someone else, it might be like, oh no, I've done this now, and like, how am I going to recover? They might not be educated enough yet for it. They might not have the mental capacity for it. They might not be in the same place as I am for it yet. They might not be ready for it. But it's like, again, going back to, remember what I said about we know we're obese. Like we know that we've messed up as well. We know it's like. You're
carrying guilt.
You know when you've done something wrong. Yeah, you're carrying the guilt already, and that's what I kind of like about it. Jarrah is like he's not made adding to the guilt.
What was your darkest point?
Oh, I've had a few of them. My darkest point. I don't know. I've cried a lot. That people wouldn't know about. I broke down quite a few times and people wouldn't know that about me. I don't know, it's just, I'd say...
I mean, there's a picture like this. There's you in 2018.
Yeah.
Is watching this. And they're like, they're not addressing things just yet. They need to hear you say something now.
If I was looking at myself now, I'd be so proud of myself. If I was looking at myself in 2018... I'd be so proud of myself of where I've come to so far, and that's what I keep saying. So far, this journey's only it's only like still in the beginning. Like there's so much more that I want to accomplish, and it's like, but giving me that drive and doing this has made me be able to realise this as well.
So when was your heaviest, but still being ignorant to your lifestyle?
That I would say Christmas 2018.
Yeah.
Christmas 2018.
And you were still ignorant to...
Yeah, I was just brushing it aside. Like, I was still going out, like, all the time.
So what would you say to that moment there? He's ignorant. Thomas is ignorant. He's still going out boozing. He's still got the friends that are around him that probably encourage the worst behaviour. what would you tell him, that person?
I wouldn't even know what to tell him. I'd just give him a slap round the head. You know what I mean? I'd go back and just go, what are you doing? Like, you'd have to sit him down and have a serious talk with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I don't think that would have helped me.
Yeah.
I think it's just been a long process. I don't think there's anything that anyone could have directly said to me back then, and that's changed my mindset. I really, really don't think there is.
What about if there was something that you shared that only you knew could potentially trigger you? And was there a point where it really impacted your mental health?
I'd say rejection is the biggest one. If I'm brutally honest, I would say rejection. Like I'm sitting here now, I'm happy for all my friends. They're all going out, getting married, having babies. I'm 31. I'm still living at home with my mum. I love my mum's bits, but it's like
I love her too.
But it's not the most attractive thing when you're chatting up a girl and you're like, oh yeah, do you want to come back to my mum's house? It's like, she'll cook you a fry up in the morning. I'll be back to square one.
You gotta finish your plate. Make sure you just clean on that.
You're not getting no dessert unless you finish your plate.
It's only breakfast. You're good. I'll give you a reward.
But that's like, yeah, I'd say rejection and fear of loneliness. That would be that is, I'd say that's the majority of people's biggest fears, and they'd be scared to admit it, is fear of dying alone. I would say that is the biggest fear for everyone. It's like, I see, like, my brother's got 3 kids. I'm like, my brother's 3-4 years younger than me. He's got 3 lovely kids. So I just feel like I'm so far behind now with everything. Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you feel that maybe there's that pressure to have things sorted up, you know, in society by a certain age, having certain things, when really no one could do what you've done?
There is that blueprint, isn't there, that everyone wants to follow.
There's no blueprint. You are the blueprint. And therefore, if you are that unique, then the impact that you would have on thousands, if not millions of people, would far outweigh a person who has a 2.4 life with a picket fence. Nothing wrong with that. Your journey and your purpose is just different, and the trauma is probably shaping you to an individual where to work through that rejection, when it's probably acceptance of self, knowing that every time you share your story, every time you speak on this, you will be triggering even people who feel worse than what you did. And that alone means you're an inspiration and a hope.
True.
Thanks, guys.
Worthless.
Which your brother may never have those characters. I'm sure he is a lovely guy. But what I'm saying is that...
What's that giggle about?
Allegedly.
He's a nice guy.
I'm just saying, in terms of comparison, it's actually comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, see, that's it. We were discussing this earlier, weren't we? When you compare yourself to someone else, this is brilliant. I was listening to this in an audiobook today. Is we look at social media. Everyone looks at social media, and there isn't many people that are brutal like me and that'll go out and take a topless photo as a 25 stone man sort of thing. Is we look at the people with Lamborghinis. How many people do you know personally that have a Lamborghini? Yeah, but we're putting ourselves down because we don't have what they have.
Yeah.
Like, how many people, like, well, you're in the fitness industry, it's like, if I look at my group of mates, they're going to kill me for this, but how many of my group of mates have 6-packs?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's, you're setting yourself up for failure by comparing yourself to these people. Whereas I'm trying to be, my biggest thing with my page is I'm trying to be an inspiration for people that I'm not, well, I've got a body of a god, but it's just a Buddha, isn't it? So it's, but I'm not this person that's been born with these crazy genetics. I'm not this person that's been born with I'm not this type of person that everyone's going to see as this 6-pack fitness icon sort of thing. I know that at the end of my journey, well, it's never going to end, but I'm going to have excess skin. I'm going to have stuff like that. And it's like, I'm gonna wear that with pride. I'm not gonna be like, if I take my top off now, like I said that we should sit here.
You're dying to take your top off, mate.
But
time you've said it,
no,
bro.
but do you know what I mean? If I'm not scared, like, to take my top off now, like, do you think I'm gonna do it when I've lost weight? Fuck yes, of course I am.
But Tom, it's also, again, I will say it in another way, the qualities that a person such as yourself obtains far outweighs the things that people have obtained. And actually the physical things and the changing of the body, whatever it is on this 3D realm, you can and you will get to that point. What you then accumulate inside, people will not have that in many lifetimes. So I'm trying to put a light on the things which you may think
so
are
every
byproducts.
every struggle that I'm going through, it's a learning curve.
Have that self-gratitude and love of the things you've achieved emotionally and mentally may not ever be achieved with people around you, regardless of what they're driving or how many kids they have.
Yeah.
What you have is bravery, courage, dedication.
I mean, like
I don't think of it like that.
Yeah, but those things are worth 100 times more, because at the end of the day, your friends can have ranges, nice houses, life, this and that, but they're still not addressing their demons.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, and those people in the houses, in the Ferraris or the nice car, what happens that? Do you know how many clients that I've had over the years that seen the perfect picture on the outside, and then as they unload to me, things come out, and you're like, wow, like I've never known that. And it's the same for anyone that you think you're comparing yourself to. You know, it's the same. So I think what you've accomplished takes a lot of character and character building and resilience and things that people are not prepared to go through. And when I speak about trauma, people run from their trauma, but you got to write a long list of things you're afraid of, and you got to accomplish the things. And each time, the thing that you're most afraid of is yourself at every stage. Or the best version of yourself, you know. So I think what you've done is phenomenal.
People are afraid of what they don't know, but people are also afraid of achieving.
Yeah. There's that Mandela speech. How does it go? People are afraid of their full potential.
They are not afraid of the things they can't do. They're afraid of the things they can.
Yeah. You know, but yeah, just to tie it all in, just a little bit more, just to give again a little bit more value to anyone who can take away from something from this. Two things. So the first one, where possible, can you give a quick breakdown? Someone they need to lose weight, they're obese, and you've done it. This is tried and tested. It worked for you. Maybe it worked for them. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc., etc.
If you're going to find someone to help you, make sure you do your research. Find out if that person is right for what you want to achieve. Speak with this person before you sign up into any program with them. Make sure that you feel comfortable with them. Second thing I would say is educate yourself. Buy yourself books. Learn about calorie intake. Learn about exerting calories. Learn about protein. Learn about macros. Learn about fats, your carbs. Learn about what they do to your body. Then just start moving more. That's all you need to do. You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need to sign up to a gym. Just start moving more. When you're on an escalator, walk on the escalator. Don't stand still on the escalator. Instead of taking a lift, use the stairs. Simple things like that. Park further away from, just move more. That's all it is. Just start off moving more, and then the more you move, you'll feel lighter. The lighter you feel, the more you want to do stuff. Then sign up to your gym. Then start your running. Then start doing. Then just get yourself more and more involved. Don't dive in head first and think that you're going to lose everything in the next week and get disheartened when you don't at the end of the week. There's going to be days where your weight fluctuates. I still notice it now. I weigh myself every day just out of habit. But there's days where I know I've stuck to my calories, I've stuck to everything, and my weight's gone up. Now, it might have been because I ate more carbs in the evening or something like that. But people look at that and they think your relativity to the ground is not as important as your health. It's your health. It's like I'm still a big person, but I'm in a far healthier situation than what I was. It's that would be the next thing I would say. But you've got to find the things that you enjoy doing. It's not there's no point in doing it unless you're enjoying doing it. Now, if you need to find something to make yourself accountable, like with me, I've done my Instagram page. That's made me accountable because I've now got them people where if I'm not posting for a day or two, people message me now going, I don't even know who they are, going, is everything okay? Like everything okay? Haven't seen you in a while. People know that if I don't post in a week, I'm on the piss and I'm eating curries and stuff like that. People know that. But it's like, I think my friends' mindsets have changed a lot towards me as well. It's like, they're far more supportive. It's not that they were never supportive of me, but instead of, we've started a group, we're going climbing Mount Snowdon when this lockdown ends. And it's like, we're organising a hotel, and it's like, someone wrote in the group there going, we'd be organising the pub at 10 o'clock in the morning. This was a few years back.
Yeah.
But they're the sort of things, you just need to find something that will make you accountable. And make yourself, the biggest thing I would say is make yourself realistic, achievable goals. Don't go out and say, I need to lose weight. One of the big things that I live by, I learned at work, is the SMART system for setting goals. Are you aware of that? So
specific, measurable,
specific. Make sure, yeah. So if I wanted to lose weight, I wouldn't say, right, I need to lose weight. It's too broad. What I would say is, I want to lose, or I've got one here already. I want to be below 140 kilos by St. Patrick's Day. This is on my vision board, right? So that's my specific target, the first letter S. It's measurable. How I'm going to measure it is I'm going to weigh myself, I'm going to calorie track, and it's all going to be measured all through them apps, yeah? And I've got my program with Jarrah and stuff like that to follow. Is it achievable? So is it an achievable target? Will I achieve it? Right? Is it possible to achieve it? Yes, of course it's possible to achieve it. I'm not telling myself to lose 100 kilos in 3 months. Then make it relevant. Why do you want to do this? Now, that's the most important one, is the R. Why do you want to achieve that goal? And it's because I'm going climbing a mountain with the boys, I need to be lighter, and it's part of my overall goal to lose weight. And then make it time-bound so you're accountable to what you're doing. So you just make it time-bound, like there, I've got the 17th of March. That is the finite date when it has to be done by. So if I get it done before, I've got to maintain it till then. If I get it done, so that is just the smart thing. That's how I do it. All my goals. So I've got all my 2021 goals down one side. Yeah. What I'm currently doing, and I've got SMART written and everything below it in the bottom letters, but in the bottom of my vision board. So.
Sick. I like that. That's good. What would you say? Now you've got this new foundation, this new sexy body, and new accumulation of habits, disciplines, and outlook, and the knowledge you've acquired over the last 2 years. What are you excited about most?
Mate, just continuing it. It's like, I was out walking dogs with my... Do you know what I signed up to? Borrow my doggy.
Me too! But no one's getting back to me. I probably sound desperate, cuz.
I'm signed up to borrowmydoggy.co.uk. All my mates are walking around with their dogs, and I'm like walking around. We were walking around Gunnersbury Park the other day, and we're free.
Don't you really have a dog?
And I'm just walking around going, Dave. But yeah, I was out walking dogs with my friend today, and it's like...
Wait, you actually got one?
I've got a dog, but my dog's almost dead. Like, if my dog wouldn't make it to the bottom of the road.
Mate, I came around his house the other day, and his mum was like, "Yeah, come in. She's like, "Oh, the dog's outside." I was like, "Let in." She's all right. Came in, the most tired ass dog.
My dog is more overweight than me. It's like
it's all bumping into my shins and stuff. So and he's deaf as well.
It's only meant to live. My dog's only meant to live for 12 years. It's 15. But yeah, it's one of the things. If I took him around from a park for a walk, he'd have a heart attack. The poor thing. But yeah, so I might have to get him on a diet. But so
what are you excited about?
Just continuing. I'm excited to continue my journey. I want to get my message out to more people. I want to get more people engaged in what I'm doing. The support that I get on Instagram is unbelievable. Like,
what is your Instagram?
Bench pressing burgers. Yeah. Make sure you follow it at bench pressing burgers. Yeah. Like the people that are reaching out to me, and it's like I said earlier, like I've influenced other people to start Instagram pages. Yeah. Like I've told them when they've asked me about it, I've said it isn't the answer, but it will help you. It will help you. There's nothing that it won't help you, but I just want to continue doing what I'm doing. Like I've got, like I said on my vision board, like my goals have not turned from like losing weight. I've got like goals on weights I want to push now and stuff like that. I want to get 150 bench press in before the end of the year.
150.
Yeah, man. I want to get like I've got big. I've got the majority of my goals now are all like they're not weight loss, they're all fitness. Like I want to climb all 3 peaks. I wanted to do it last year. But yeah, so if anyone wants to come climbing mountains with me, give me a shout. If anyone's got,
I will not be coming. Caribbean blooded. I don't do.
But yeah, so it's like they're just little things that if I achieve, basically all of these little things I do, they'll all add to my ultimate goal. There's no way that they won't assist to my ultimate goal. That's what it is. Yeah. And the ultimate goal is just to live longer. That's all it is. Yeah. It's like eventually when I do get a girlfriend and get married and have kids and stuff like that, you know, the blueprint of life that you're meant to follow, I want to be there to see my kids grow up. That's exactly what I want to be. That's the ultimate goal.
I think just touching that, we lost both our dads.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And you know, he would have missed his second grandchild.
Yeah.
Your dad would have missed out on a lot. And I think they were big influence on life because they were so strict.
Yeah.
And that whole man up thing.
That's it. We were
the mindset around food and dinners, and you can't eat unless you can't drink unless you finish your food or finish your plate, or the bigger the meal, the better the man you are.
Mate, if they were watching us now, they'd be like, oh, who are these two wimps? You know what I mean?
They're still smoking up there. He's the reason why we got clouds.
But yeah, no, it's you're dead right. You're a product of your environment, aren't you? You're a product of you are what you are brought up to be. Your values are taught to you from a very young age. It's like we're again. It's like I think we were both brought up Catholic as well, weren't we? Yeah. It's like that's a very strict religion to be brought up in as well. And it's like, but me and you both like that. It's like we tried to break the rules at every possible every possible hurdle. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what.
I think you touched on it. The goal is what you're excited about is living longer, and I think that's really powerful. Really, I think that's
it. One of the best things I ever had like said to me was, people ask me what motivates me, right? And a lot of people have asked me, and I'm not a big believer in the word motivation. I think you've touched on this before as well. And I think you put it in very good ways. You could go to bed motivated and wake up feeling like crap.
Shit, and vice versa.
Yeah, and but when people ask me what motivates me or why do I keep doing it, and a way it was put to me is strip naked, look in the mirror. If you're not happy, do something about it. If you're happy, then you're fine.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it. The ultimate goals are live longer, and that's how you're going to do it. But again, it's not fair to say because people have problems and stuff like that. So. But that's what motivates me. It might not motivate you, but that's what motivates me.
No, that's big. That's big. Tom, my guy. Lovely jubbly.